Hello, hello, hello. Why is it so dark in here? Oh my goodness. Oh my. Where's this light? I'll have to do. How are we doing? I hope you're doing well. Welcome to this Monday, the 23rd of October. November, December, almost done with the year. I can't believe you were late showing up. So, because people said they're gonna be late, I just thought I'd be late as well, just to join the club. But I saw Jen was here, popping out of class. I can't bring it up on the stream. Because it was before I went live. And he said he'll look forward to listening, watching the replay. Well, you have a good class. Judith is here as well. Welcome. Great to have you here. And then I can bring on everyone else on the stream from now on. So Michelle, welcome. Great to have you here. Mina is here. Welcome. Finally early, or is it because I was just late? The Grim is here. Welcome, my friend. Cheryl is here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, how you doing? You're on a roll at the moment of attending live. I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good. I went for a nice 3-mile run in the sweatsuit thing. So that was nice. Felt good. And then the reason why I was late was Melissa was meant to be picking up Sebastian, but she had some thoughts of her car having trouble, and she didn't like the idea of going up this big hill. So I was like, okay, I can be there in 15 minutes, so like meet up a little bit closer. And it meant that I'd be back in time just. But then, the route I have to take passes 2 schools, and guess what time it was? School was out. So I had to do a quick swap over, give Melissa the meds, all the other stuff, and then come all the way back, press stream, then do the lighting and the camera and everything else. To finally make it not so much on time. But that's okay. I'm going to be gentle on myself. I'm on time most of the time. Angela is here. I hope you had a good weekend too, that you were safe from all the storms. What was my... Oh, we had a great group coaching call. That was really, really epic. The celebrations we're getting are amazing. And then we did a cool process, which I then created into a create your day in 4 different ways. And that was really, really fun. So it was good to get on the group coaching call. And then... I don't think I went for a run on Saturday, but I went one on Sunday. Oh, and because I knew Sebastian was leaving today, I cooked him a Sunday roast on Sunday. On Saturday. I cooked him a Sunday roast on Saturday. So it was a Saturday roast, but it had all the roast parsnips, roast potatoes, Yorkshire pudding, stuffing, roast chicken. I made some homemade bread sauce, sprouts, gravy. I think there's more veg there as well. But that was nice. Decorating. Is that a fun thing or not so fun thing? Decorating always starts out well, then like halfway through I'm like, huh, are we done yet? Hey, welcome to the stream. How you doing? Yeah, I go live Monday and Fridays. Monday and Fridays. I used to go live on Wednesdays, but I've stopped that for right now. The last one was Wednesday last week. But another bit of news. Before I had to rush out, I created a track for Wednesday. And it is really, really good, if I don't mind me saying so. The subject is almost how to master anything, which is a big claim. But on top of that, it was inspired from an email I got at the weekend. I replied to it, or Sarah replied to, my assistant Sarah replied to it, but then because I saw it, I was like, there's a good subject. Where this person freezes and gets confused in a situation. You know, like being put on the spot, in other words, like I used to when I used to blush and things, and you know, your mind kind of gets out of control. You kind of spiral out of control in that fight, flight, or more specifically, a freeze situation. So I thought, I'm going to do a track on that. And the intention, I've done this lots of times with my clients, is to be able to master something unconsciously so many times, a bit like the 10,000 hours they say. It's more than that you need, by the way, to master or to be a professional. I think you need more than that most of the time. But what if we did it unconsciously, beneath the surface? So that track is all being edited. Not right now, because I had to rush out. But I've created the sleep version for the bonus people, those who are members of the app, freehypnosis.app. Take me in your pocket by downloading. And I'll do the day version, which will be the free episode, for Wednesday. And then, like I said, you'll get the sleep version as well, if you're a subscriber to the app. And if you didn't notice, did you get it? Did you? If you open up the app, did my mic go funny? I'm going to check in. We've got all these new episodes or sessions. All of them. Look at them. We've got the Ho'oponopono in day and night form now. So what you do is you stop hitting the mic. And again, you go to the hypnosis library. In there, autofocus. Got to do the funny things with your hands half the time. You go to the hypnosis library, and then you'll find all the titles in there in day and night version. 67% charge. We need to update it. Did you like the background, by the way? I updated my background. I was noticing if I got up early, the white background was blinding me. So I've gone to the dark side and made it darker. But anyway, you'll find all those new titles in the app already, and more to come. Next month, we'll try and get another 10, 15 new titles in there, which is pretty cool. What do you think about that? And today is going to be episode 885. 885. So they're the updates. Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. East Coast, 11 p.m. in the United Kingdom. That track for rehearsing, mastering anything to get you out of that fight and flight and freeze will be on YouTube, the day version. And then I think I can just put it as like a premiere. A premiere? What's the point of a premiere on YouTube? I don't know. But I'm premiering. I'm premiering? What is that word? Who knows? And good afternoon to you. Welcome back. So yeah, we will be getting the new track this Wednesday. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. And I might try and be in the chat as well. Might even listen to it. But what else do I have to do before we get started? Premiering. I'm premiering. That doesn't sound right. Isn't it premiering? It's going to be a premiere. Premier League. The Premier League. There you go. Who knows? Someone must. So should we just get into today's show? Seems I was late. And then after this, I will edit the episode, but also edit the hypnosis session. Yeah, I caught it. I was just waiting for that. We'll bring it on the screen since you mentioned it. I like that name though. Hi Metro. Sounds like a cool nickname. Has anyone got any cool nicknames? I don't know. All I've got is Cluffy. That's the one. But let me hydrate because I've been in a rush, and then we'll get started in just a moment. Okay. Hey, Joe. One thing is spelled like that. With an IE. Yes, it's episode 885. Wow, that's a cool one. Hopefully for good reasons. So let's get to it. That's all good. All good, my friend. Let's get to it. Oh, that makes sense. Cook and cookie. It's like when we play soccer or football in England, most importantly. Yeah, a lot of those kind of nicknames. Okay, let's get to it. Gotta remember where I am. We just do that, and we just leisurely do this. 3, 2. Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joseph Clough, and this is episode 885. Now, in today's session, we are talking about the differences as to when to push yourself and when to really be gentle upon yourself. So some of this episode is going to be a bit of a wake-up call, I like to think, but it'll also give you a sense of harmony along the way. Because personally, I can go onto both sides. Sometimes I'm genuinely hard on myself. I feel like I should be producing more, being more, doing more to help more people. That is like what I like to think is what I'm trying to achieve in the world. But sometimes I need to be gentle on myself. Like, there's only so many hours in a day. There's only so many things I can do, whether it be the free work, whether it be the paid work, whether it be just even an attempt of a social life, an experience, and doing all those kind of things. So it's something that I personally go through. And in today's episode, I want us to think about it in the context of achieving something. Like I said, for me, it is to help as many people as possible. And that's where I tend to be hard on myself the most. Like, I feel like sometimes I need to do more to produce. And then I've got to keep myself in check. Like, there's only so much. So have in your mind maybe what you've been putting pressure upon yourself at times. Think about maybe it's in your health, your relationships, your career, your finances, in general abundance, in your personal development, in the desire to let go of a conflict. So maybe your goal is to be free of the imposter syndrome, to be free of anxiety, or your goal is to be confident and self-certain. And by the way, watch out for the next episode, a hypnosis session, because I'm going to show you a process that I do with my clients. We do it in a different way, more personalized way, but it's going to allow you to practice the thing you want to get better at, or the thing you want to achieve, unconsciously, multiple times, hundreds of times. So that means when you do it in reality, it just happens naturally. Like, you can master so many more things. You can get out of the freeze and the frozen and the fight and the flight state if you ever need to be able to be really certain in yourself. So regarding that though, I want you to have in your mind, what is that goal and outcome that you have? And be as specific as possible when you think about it. And I want you just to imagine and consider how you've been treating yourself lately in regards to it. What is the general energy you have to it? Is it one where you've been putting a lot of pressure on yourself? And an example of that could be like beating yourself up. Like that inner critic saying, look, you should be doing more. Why haven't you achieved this goal yet? Why haven't you succeeded? Because you've tried so many times. Is that internal dialogue present? Maybe it's a feeling of sadness or hopelessness. Maybe it's an overwhelming emotion of self-hatred or anger. And just notice how you experience that issue, or that being hard on yourself and pushing yourself maybe too much. Because you need to know what you experience and how you experience it, and especially in the context that you experience it. And then I want you to think about, maybe if you were to step outside of that you, what would like a mentor tell you? Would they say, look, be a bit more gentle upon yourself? Would they say, well, actually what you're doing here intentionally is good, because maybe you do need to be pushed a little bit, but maybe changing the tone will change the response. You see, the meaning of communication is the response you get back. And that is typically for other people. So if I'm trying to communicate something, but the response I get from someone is not the one I wanted, I've got to change my communication. I can't just make that person see my point of view or take on my suggestions or my ideas. So if they're not quite taking it the way that I intended, I've got to change the way that I communicate to them. So the meaning of all communication is the response you're getting back. And that is typically, as I said, with people. But it also goes to the same thing to ourselves as well. So is the meaning of your communication yielding a negative, or is it yielding a positive? So if you are having that internal dialogue and you're beating yourself up and you've got that anger, sadness, fear, guilt, hurt, frustration, whatever it may be for you, but you still need to push yourself, then maybe try noticing the communication you have and then softening it or empowering it into a whole different way. Like, how would you like to be communicated with that, if you did, would allow you to experience more freedom and the success in your life? That's what I want you to consider. And we can talk about the how to do it soon, maybe. But a very initial aspect is that you've got to be conscious of it. Is it that, yes, you do need to be pushed? Maybe if we take the other side, are you being too gentle on yourself? This could be a wake-up call. Are we falling into the pattern that it's okay, I'll do it tomorrow? But when tomorrow becomes next week, and next week becomes next month, maybe you're being too gentle on yourself. Maybe we say to ourselves, well, I'm just gonna stay in my comfort zone. I'm not going to do the work that is needed to achieve the goal and the outcome that I wanted. And yes, intentionally, it could be based around certain things, like trying to protect yourself from the fear of failure, the fear of not being enough, the fear of not being capable, the fear of rejection, the fear of success in itself. But still, we've got to sometimes look in the mirror and ask ourselves some important questions. Are we pushing ourselves too much? Or are we being maybe too gentle? Because either one's not going to yield the result that we want. If we're too gentle, we do nothing. If we push ourselves too much, we self-sabotage because we're in that freezing situation. Like, we're just kind of spiraling out of control, beating yourself up. And what that does, it just separates the conscious and the unconscious mind. In other words, you're out of rapport with yourself, because no one likes to be told those things. So maybe there is a middle ground. Maybe there is a way where you can speak gentle truths that also motivate you. But if you do find yourself maybe having pushed yourself and still getting some result, maybe we've got to be conscious of what is our benchmark. Like, what are we comparing it to? Like, if I go, well, I need to be here or achieve X, Y, Z by this date, and maybe it's too much too big, maybe I'm going to then self-sabotage because I'm comparing myself to unrealistic expectations. And then we can go into, well, what is the source of that expectation? Is the expectation your own? Is it society's? Is it your mum or dad? Is it your family? Is it your partner? Is it our friends? Like, the keeping up with the Joneses? Are we kind of trying to just live up to other people's expectations? And if that is the case for you, which is causing you to either be way too gentle because you're fearful of what could happen, or you're pushing yourself that it just doesn't happen because you're being too mean upon yourself, maybe the reflection we need is not to compare yourself to others, but the real acid test, the real benchmark should be comparing myself from where I was yesterday. Comparing myself from where I was last week, last month, 6 months ago, a year ago. That is going to be a far greater level of acquiring evidence compared to comparing yourself to other people's expectations. For example, you could go, wow, I've been putting all this pressure on myself, being really kind of hard, but when I really look at it, I've made changes. Over the last 6 months, I'm a different person. And if I keep on just doing my very best and lifting myself up, because I think that's the basis or one of the foundations of all relationships, which is to lift up in a relationship. Well, if you're not lifting up with your own self-relationship, with your unconscious mind and yourself consciously, then that's not going to be a good foundation of transformation. But if you do look at that data from yesterday, from a week ago, from a month ago, from 6 months ago, from a year ago, it may put things into perspective. You might go, actually, I have made those changes. I have been doing the work. So if I just put more ease into moving forward, it will allow me to be simultaneously gentle upon myself on the journey, whilst still systematically acquiring the results. So there is this intermediate, there is a harmony that you can have between the both. But you've got to wake up to this. You've got to like really look in the mirror and go, am I doing the work? Like if I'm going, I want to earn X amount per month or per year. Well, is the effort and the energy I'm putting into it equal to that X amount per month or X amount per year? Because if your energy isn't matching the value that you desire, then of course you're not going to achieve that value. Same thing with relationships, right? We can go, well, I really want a good relationship, but if you're not trying to work upon yourself to get better at relationships, learning about relationships, or even putting yourself out there for a relationship, or if you're in one, if you're not self-reflective of their needs, how they would like to be spoken to, how they feel seen, heard, felt, and loved. Maybe we're just trying to fulfill our own expectations and therefore never fulfill their own. So there is this level of, am I doing the real work? Am I conscious of this? Because if you go, well, I'm not doing the work, and then you start to be hard on yourself, or you're too easy, then it's just going to compound after a while. You're actually going to go from one to the other. You're going to be gentle, then you're going to, oh my goodness, why am I such an idiot? I haven't done all the work. Have you ever noticed that? That in the moment you can go, well, I'm a bit too fearful, too gentle on myself. I give myself an out of doing the work. And then after we go, I'm such an idiot, I'm such a bad person, or this is exactly why you haven't got your life together. So you will go from one to the other. But getting yourself into the comparison of where you have been to where you are now is going to be far better than the comparison on the horizontal, right? Like or like just going across the field of all these other people and other situations. That's going to be far better if we compare ourselves from where we were, and then have that reality check to either soften, to change that internal dialogue, which I think we just did an episode recently about. So it kind of falls in alignment with that. But you've got to notice where your benchmark should be to get the results. And I am a firm believer on that money example. Like and you can change it for anything, but if I'm wanting something and I'm not getting what I want, well, do I have to change my level of input? And that can push up against a lot of boundaries, by the way. And you might get that feeling on the inside when you think of your outcome, because it makes us feel bad or guilty for not doing it. And I'm not trying to do that to make you feel guilty. I'm doing it to hopefully interrupt the pattern that has been going on and on and on, that we're repeating over and over and over. So it is about coming from a place of that wake up. Actually, if I'm going to achieve my goals and my dreams, I have to show up for my goals and dreams. It's something that I was talking about on my group coaching call in my main program, is that when you show up, things will show up. If you're not showing up, the things won't show up in your life, because biologically, you will delete the opportunity. You will distort the experience to trip you up or self-sabotage yourself. Your generalized beliefs like that's why I can never have what I want in my life. That's why I can never have good relationships. That's why I can never get money. Those generalizations just spread and get out of control. But if you get yourself firmly in the position of absolute responsibility from love and power, so not from that critique, not from that pushing yourself to the limit that it causes you to self-sabotage yourself. If you come from that place of undeniable self-love and passion and purpose and movement, you will then start to show up. And then if the results aren't still coming through, if they're not fully showing back the energy that you're doing, that you're putting out there, then you may have to ask yourself, well, if I'm showing up, but I'm not getting the result, maybe I've got to notice how I show up. In other words, what you do in showing up. Because that's where you've sometimes got to be adaptable. You got to be willing to experiment and do different things. Like even from treating like our mind like a business. Like if you think about it, if you just kept on doing one thing, spending all the money on the marketing on this one avenue, but you weren't getting clients into your business, would it make sense to keep on putting out the exact same message in the exact same avenue of that marketing? No. What would you do? Well, you'd either refine the message, get clearer, understand the customer's needs so they go, wow, yeah, you're talking to me. Or you may change the different approach to selling. You might switch from this media to another media or medium to get a different outcome. So sometimes you've got to be conscious and treat yourself like that business. Am I putting my energy all into this thing, yet it's not getting the results? Maybe I've got to try something new, or at least even approach it differently. Because when you do, you get different results. So there are lots of different angles that we've taken on this episode, that maybe we're being too hard on ourselves, or maybe where we need to be more gentle and loving. Sometimes we need to wake up that we're too gentle and we're not putting the energy and output that matches our goals and our outcomes, because they'll show up when you do. Sometimes, like we said, sometimes you're pushing yourself in a negative way. Some people don't, by the way, like to be berated into success. And if we're berating ourselves trying to get that success, it's not going to make you feel good. Now, some people, yeah, some people like that energy. But if you do not, then it's maybe time to change your communication. I'm going to say this again. It's so important for your relationships and your relationship with yourself. The meaning of communication is the response you're getting back. In other words, what's reflecting back in the answer. Sometimes you have to change your communication and therefore you'll get a different response. And that is why I said sometimes, like a business, you got to change that communication method to the customer, or sometimes you got to change the communication vehicle or avenue to be able to get a better result. So hopefully that's been of value. Just like to break down your own process, to wake up to it, even if it makes you feel bad in the first place, like, oh my goodness, I'm being way too gentle the last few weeks or months and years to get this outcome, or oh my goodness, I'm so now aware that I've been berating myself for like pushing myself in a negative way. These wake-up calls are allowing you to change your communication so it doesn't keep on happening, so you don't keep on getting the same pain back, or you don't keep on getting the so-called failures. If you learn from them, if you learn about yourself, you will adapt and grow. But staying the same, doing the same old thing, thinking we're going to get a different result is not going to be beneficial. So be conscious, because the reason why I always say we've got to be conscious, because these are unconscious processes, right? That inner dialogue is usually unconscious. The emotions that we feel, the anger, the sadness, the fear, the guilt, the hurt, the frustration, is an unconscious process. The beliefs you have about yourself and the world are unconscious. Your values are things which make you do things or not do things are unconscious. Your representation of your past, in other words, the memories that you have, is unconscious. So if we are pushing ourselves, being too gentle or too pushing ourselves in a hard way, it is unconscious. So that is why we need to get the unconscious process of what we do and how we do it into a conscious state. And that means we can start to interrupt the pattern. Because when you interrupt the pattern, you're educating your unconscious mind that actually there is another way of doing this. After all, right? Whether you're pushing yourself too hard, whether you're being way too gentle, there's always a positive intention between the both of them. Right? There's always trying to protect you in some way. It's just not fulfilling that objective of safety, where playing small, playing in your comfort zone, or hatred and pushing yourself on all those things is not going to get you. But the intention is to try to do something. So just slow down the process. Notice where it's coming from. Is it yours? Is it someone else's? Is it programmed into you? Are you having to change the dynamics of your own relationship? And then you've got something to work with. You've got something you can actually start to utilize. So it's not just living beneath the surface at an unconscious level. And I think when you do that, life's going to change. So I hope you got value from this episode. Like I said, of course, if you ever want to download my app, you get all the ad-free experience. You get day and night versions of every track. You get a bonus sleep hypnosis session every week so far. You actually have search functionality, which makes it better than the podcast experience, for example. It's very hard to search for podcasts and they get buried down. You can favor, you can heart them so it remains at the top. You can repeat, you can create playlists. You've got all the things you need. The morning meditations, the day and night sleep hypnosis, the custom tracks, the 4-hour sleep sessions. You can download them for offline listening. It's all there for you. And we've just put in another 15 or so new hypnosis sessions, and I'm going to put probably another 10 or 15 next month as well, on a variety of subjects. So I look forward to speaking to you, or of course, if you wish, if you desire. If you want to support me, leave a review. That's what you got to do. And that means your words can hopefully inspire other people to make the change they crave. Even if they get just one thing from one episode, it could affect their life in many different ways, from how they communicate with their partner, or how they get out of a relationship, or how they break the story and the beliefs around themselves and live a happier life. And that then ripples out into the world for everyone there around. But it's hopefully just getting them out of some darkness. There's too much darkness right now. We need to kind of shine more light. So if you would partner with me on that by leaving a review, it takes like 30 seconds. I'll be very, very grateful. But with that, my friends, I look forward to speaking to you on a next episode, which will be the hypnosis session, to be able to master what you need to master and to get out of that freeze, get out of that confusion, and then you can get your unconscious mind to master how to act and react and feel and think and believe in any situation you desire. And of course, after that one, you get the bonus sleep one for being a part of the app. So with that, many thanks and goodbye. So that was episode 885. We did it, everybody. Started late due to traffic. Hey, Patrick. Oh, thank you so much. So pleased that you've enjoyed my work ever since 2014. That's almost a decade you've been listening to me. Sheesh. Thank you so much, my friend. Aspire to be more positive, happy, and confident. I love it. Thank you so much for being here. And 3 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. East Coast, 11 p.m. I'll go to YouTube if you can, youtube.com/Joseph Clough. You'll be getting the hypnosis. In fact, if you want it, you gotta be on YouTube. I'm not uploading it to Facebook on the Wednesday. So go to youtube.com/Joseph Clough and subscribe and things. And that means you get that this Wednesday. And thank you, my friend. Very kind of you, Leah. On your Tuesday morning. And thank you, Michelle. Great to have you here. Hopefully you're enjoying your retirement. So there we go. We started late. Doesn't mean we've got to stay late though, right? You are most welcome, Mina. Pleased you enjoyed it. Very, very kind. And if you have any hypnosis suggestions for the future, go to... Let me put it in the YouTube chat. Oh, spelled my name wrong. Who does that? I do. You can just go to josephclough.info/ABC, simple as ABC, and you can put in suggestions for the app as in functionality, which I've got some already. I haven't put my own suggestions in there because it stores them. Also, you can add hypnosis suggestions and audio program suggestions. So if you need anything, I said this Wednesday's session was inspired by a suggestion. I'll endeavor to do my best to create them. Thank you so much, Cheryl. Very, very kind of you. I got this weird notification. It's not weird when I looked into it, but YouTube has demonetized me a little bit. Not fully, a little bit. And it's said that a lot of small creators are getting this notification, saying that there are some weird traffic, which of course is not from me. I know if you pay for traffic, it's not going to help you. It eventually gets found out. But yeah, YouTube said that. It's like, what? Why would you do that? So hopefully they resolve it for me. I haven't reached out to them yet because they will be able to tell me what the traffic is, because I don't know what the traffic is, and then correct it. So thank you, YouTube. But it's okay. It's okay. It's a learning process of the channel. Thank you so much. Yeah. That's definitely what happens, right? Like, let's say we can push ourselves and then we get to, oh my goodness, I gotta rest and restore. There's definitely a balance. Or I'm gonna change balance to harmony. You don't need balance, you need harmony. When things are kind of sometimes over here, but they're harmonized with one another or with all parties. Because if you just have balance, you're kind of stuck. Like if you want a good business, you can't expect balance in all areas of your life all the time. You might be able to hear the guarding people. But if you have harmony, which is putting more into the business while still taking care on a lower level relationships, by being clean and clear in your communication, say, look, I'm doing this right now, but it will switch around. You get a harmonious, like you start to get the balance. Yes. Awesome. So pleased you enjoyed it. How do you stop overthinking? Well, we should do that as a subject. So go to josephclub.info/abc. Stop overthinking. So I can do that in a hypnosis session. Be a lot quicker. But you would probably think of the overthink. It depends what it is, but you could take the same stance. Like if you think of anxiety, it's overthinking with emotion, isn't it? Like feeling anxiety, thinking about all the things. So I always tend to then go down the stoic route, like think out the thoughts. Like, what are they really true? Because that means you're slowing down the process, but you're also mitigating the thought if it needs to be done. The other thing to do is I put my pad on the floor here, writing things out, writing out your thoughts, because if they stay in here, they just rattle around back and forth. But if you journal and write things down a little bit, you would empty out a little bit. But yeah, we could easily do that. So look, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to josephclough.info/abc, and I'm just going to type in overthinking. I'm going to just press submit. Beep. And now I've got it. It's in my system. It's on the list. Just like that. Yeah. Sometimes we get into that place like having all the conversations with people. Have you ever had that experience? When you replay out scenarios or rehearse scenarios which would never actually happen. But yeah, I think being more stoic, emptying out, catching them, and listen to the hypnosis session I do once I create it. That's all go. Oh, that's all good even. Well, that's all go. That's all good. I don't think so. I don't think so, though. I mean, I guess if one person is just watching lots and lots of videos all the time, they might then go, we've got a traffic source of watching your videos back to back or simultaneously, and maybe that could do it. I think that's where it'd be more repetition rather than a singular moment once per week or so. Yeah, empty out. Empty, empty, empty. We did it. We can just relax now. Even as the gardeners of their noise. Can you hear that? I can hear that. We'll just turn up the music a little bit. Just a little bit. But with that, I should probably close off the stream. We hit the hour, just got a notification right now. And I need to edit this episode. It's for my 4 p.m. So I need to edit this episode, edit the Wednesday's episode, make that into a video, and then go from there. Go from there. So thank you all for being here. I look forward to speaking to you on Friday. Well, I'm still speaking to you probably on the hypnosis session, right? I just won't be me there speaking to you like I am right now. And I'll be back on Friday, and we're talking about, I don't know, I can't remember. I only created yesterday. It'd be good though. It could be good. It could be good. Most welcome. You have a good and great one. And I'll speak to you all soon. I should need to edit this new ending. So I won't be around on Wednesday, which will show in a moment. So many thanks and goodbye.